We are gonna be recording to this computer now. My man Craig Daigle. How you say it? Craig Daigle, Craig Deagle. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Rock and roll. Let it rock. How you say his last name? Deagle or Daigle? And what is he? What is he? A life coach? Just a life coach? That's it. So he's a business owner and life coach. Got it. Craig Daigle. Got it. Thank you, Ben. Successful business owner and life coach. Winning on all levels, man. Talking about leading yourself, bro. Ready to rock. All right, buddy, check your email. It is 11:39. I'm 9 minutes late. I apologize. Got the times wrong for some reason. I thought you were on the West Coast. But I sent you the link to your email. So go ahead and pop that in there and let's get this guy going. To be about 20 minutes, man. Not even long, all right? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. 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 Man, oh man, oh man. Wee. Excellent. $20 minutes. Man, listen, watching a great word. Welcome to It's Time to Lead podcast, where leaders come together to grow and get better. I'm your host, Fred Fitzgiles. So excited to my man. Here he comes. Yes, sir. Craig Daigle. The man, the myth,
what's up,
the legend.
Dude?
What's up, man? I don't know why I had my time wrong. I apologize for that.
You're good. You're good. I'm like, man, he must think I'm in Hawaii. No,
yeah, I thought you was taking, matter of fact, past Hawaii for some reason. You look great, man. Yo,
thanks, man.
Busy week, I see.
Bro, you have no idea.
Pictures say it all, man.
Man, I'll break it down like slightly for you. So last week, not last week, the week before, we were trying to get into the house. We couldn't move our closing date. We were able to move it to the 23rd. Monday, the 21st was our city's bulk trash pickup. Ouch. So I wanted to get in the house before that because it had shag carpeting and it had parquet flooring in it. And I had to get it out and I had to get it picked up and got rid of, or I would have to dispose it. Yeah. So the homeowner, dude, such a blessing. Dude, God walked us through this whole thing. She let us in the house the Thursday before we were supposed to close. I worked nights. Right. So I worked overnight. I got out of work. I would go here and I would work on the house for, 8 hours or so. I'd get home in the afternoon, like 3 or 4. I'd take a nap. I'd go back to work for, I'd be taking like 4-hour sleep sessions. And then I would come back here and I would work. Right. And I was doing that all week, which was fine. And I just I've just been plugging away. Whenever I can do something, I can do something. So Wednesday we closed on the house. That was cool. I didn't sleep that day either.
I was going to ask about that. You're on double adrenaline. I mean, literally. Yeah.
So we did a bunch of stuff, and then Thursday, evidently, like something happened with the mortgage company that we went with, the lender. Yep. And I'm sleep deprived, so I'm just signing paperwork. I'm signing my name and the date on everything, right? The last sheet is just a signature, it's no date.
Sure.
but I signed and dated it.
They
I
did.
don't know. And the lady was like, wow, this is so easy because we had no real estate agent. We knew the lady that owned the house. We bought it for what she paid for it in 2019.
Mm.
We were paying like we had the money wired and everything. She's like, this is the easiest home purchase I've ever gone through.
Right.
So she was not paying attention either. So apparently they tried calling my wife. She never answers her phone either. And I told her, I said, see, that's God teaching you a lesson
Yep.
because you don't answer your phone.
Got to work on that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had to go back Thursday and fix paperwork. And I had just gotten knee deep, started working on washing the woodwork in the house. You take this stuff called TSP. It's just like a cleaner, but
Okay.
it eats away at the finish so that the paint will stick.
Ah.
I had just made a 3-gallon bucket of it and started washing. She's like,
Mm.
we got to go to the lending company. I'm like, all right. She's like, we got to do something else too on our way. I'm like,
Wow.
okay. I'm like, what else? She's like, somebody is gonna put a dog up for adoption at the pen, but they're gonna put it down. And I'm like, well, I don't
Wow.
want the dog to go down. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we signed the paperwork. We picked up a puppy. Like I don't need
My
anything else more.
goodness. Yeah. On top of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we picked up a puppy. He's at the house now, and it's
Right.
like,
Right.
and then finally
Like, hi,
Friday,
I'm Dad. How you doing? You know.
exactly. And then Friday, you can see I'm in a Nissan Versa. You can see the back of the Nissan Versa, right?
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah.
I put
Wow.
2,000 square feet of flooring in the back of my car, and it took 2 trips to
Oh
get all the flooring to
man.
our house. I was like, man, and I did that Friday, and then finally I called my boss. I'm like, hey, look, like I've had a really busy week. I'm done all my calibrations and stuff. I'm gonna take the night off. And I got home Friday night. I was
Mm.
up from Thursday afternoon at like 6:37 when I went to
Mm.
work, all the way to Friday night at 8:30 p.m.
Mm.
I went to bed, bro. I didn't wake up until Saturday night.
Dude, I could
I
only imagine. Wow.
didn't even wake up till Saturday night. So
Saturday night.
today I'm trying to like make good with my Sunday, and I got tomorrow during the day. I work Monday night, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
get some stuff accomplished. But
Well, that's good, man. Well, congratulations on the closing of the
yeah,
house. Congratulations on the new addition to the family.
I know.
Unexpected. God is always unexpected, isn't he?
That's it. He's funny, bro. He's a comedian. I swear. He's
Oh
always got
man.
jokes. He's
Oh man, he
always got
does. He
jokes.
does, man. So I appreciate. Listen, I am grateful to you, and I appreciate you, man, for
Yeah.
taking the time out for me to just go ahead and give you your flowers while you're here, man. Because listen, the kind of week that you had, I actually heard of, the military is always talking about getting up early in the morning and doing more within a couple hours than you do all day. I think you definitely bodied that, right? You embodied
Dude.
that whole thing right there this last week.
You know what's crazy,
Woo.
Fred, is I've been embodying that for 5 years. And
Mm,
I thought I was hardcore before.
sure,
And
right?
then this week I was like, damn, bro.
You really hit
Because
hardcore.
somebody said something to me the other day. They were like, yo, working nights must be so good. You got like the whole day ahead of you.
Mm,
Like you can come right home, you can sleep, and then you can get up. And I said, well, what time should I get up then if you think I have the whole day ahead of me?
yeah.
And they're like, I don't know, like I'll get up at like noon or like 1 o'clock. I'm like, you would? I'm
Mm,
like, I'm like, how so? I said, all right, then you can do that while you're on a day shift too. I
right,
said,
right.
I said, go to bed at 8 o'clock at night and then wake up at midnight, you stupid prick. No,
Right,
I'm
right, right.
like,
Absolutely. Right,
I'm like,
right.
it's the same thing. I'm like, just change AM to PM. It was my buddy too from high school. And he's like, dude, I'd have my whole day. I'm like, dude, you're stupid, bro. It's like you getting up at midnight. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, you
man.
see me do it, but it's not that great, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
It's
it's
like getting
not.
up at midnight.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And the thing is, do you feel your body is like being beaten up, or is it used to being up at night but not sleeping in the daytime?
You know, nights is rough. Being on
Okay.
nights for the last like year has been rough for
Right.
me. Um, I've definitely neglected my body. I've put like 25, 30 pounds on
Okay.
being on nights easily just because
Yeah.
I don't eat right.
Yep.
And it's like a fight to get into some type of rhythm, but
Hmm.
I don't feel any less tired
Okay.
than I did before. I think more or less I'm good for 4 or 5 hours of sleep no matter when I'm sleeping.
Wow. So you're
That's
good with that. You can function on that.
yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
me.
Wow.
Anything more than that and I feel run down.
Mm.
Anything less than that and I'm falling asleep.
Right, 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 right. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah,
Well,
it's crazy.
I see what it is, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get rolling on here. I just wanted to
Yeah,
be able to, my topic is leading through a crisis. And so, it started out, of course, last year, with the whole COVID thing, but there's a lot more crises that we go through and have gone through. And so I wanted to kind of, introduce you to my audience. I got your bio, so I'm gonna do that. Not now. I'm gonna do that because
yeah.
I'm definitely pre-record that. But I'm gonna start off just kind of talk, kind of introducing everybody, talk about how you got started. You are a business owner and a life coach. Is that correct when I say that?
Yeah, I mean they all kind of go together, you know.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's the foundation of health and nutrition, but it ends up, man, I end up being people's somebody to talk
True.
to,
I
somebody, you
know.
know.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just kind of rolled
It
into
rolls in
both.
together. Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm gonna do my little opening, man, and then we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
have some fun, man. Give me one sec. I'm just gonna pray. Father God, just thank you for the opportunity for Craig being here. I'm so honored him right now in our friendship. I thank you for blessing him with his house, blessing him with his new family member, him and his wife, and strengthen him, God, just right now from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet, God. So give him the strength that he needs. Allow him to take a moment to finish what he needs to do with this house and also to get sweet rest so he can be able to continue to perform and be the blessing that he has been to the world. I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
amen.
Amen, man. Let me go ahead and open up here 1 second. We are rolling. I see the red dot. The red dot means I'm good. There we go. Welcome to this Time to Lead podcast where leaders come together to grow and get better. My name is Fred Fitzgerald and I'm your host. And we believe that before you can lead anyone, you first need to lead yourself. And I got a special guest on the podcast today I just met a couple months ago through my wife. This gentleman is his story is incredible. He's a business owner. He's also a life coach, but I think he is just a man that is there for everybody. He has a big heart. He has an incredible story. I'm not gonna steal his thunder. He goes by the name of Craig Daigle. Welcome to this Time to Lead podcast, Craig.
Thanks for having me, my man. Thanks for having me. You guys are a blessing. You know, I can't fathom not having you guys a part of my life in just the last couple of months, being able to
Thank
do,
you,
you know, the
bro.
success stalkers and clubhouse and all the different things. You guys have added a lot of value to my life and a lot of joy. So I appreciate you guys, dude. I want you to know that.
Yeah, I definitely know that. I love you too, man. I appreciate it, man. Tell everybody about who Craig Daigle is. When I say who is Craig Daigle, talk about who he is and where you came from, and give us a little backstory.
Man, I'm a 40-year-old husband, father, and coach who's overcome adversity and circumstances by no longer being a victim of my story. I mean that's the bottom line, the elevator pitch. Everybody should have one if you're
Yes.
somebody of leadership. You know, not everybody has time for your whole story. I mean, we have time to get into it now, but if somebody asks me who I am, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
somebody who helps other people overcome adversity by not being a victim of their circumstances. and
Yes.
and I know that that's kind of a profound thing to think about. And when I tell people that, you know, I don't take lightly, you know, mental health and being a part of domestic violence and things of that nature. I know it's easier said than done,
Yep. Absolutely.
but it's worth it. Everything in life that's hard is worth doing. And the thing of it is no matter what someone's circumstances are, or no matter what their adversities are that they face, As human beings, we all have the same availability of choice. And the thing about it is we may not have the same availability of resources, but we have the same availability of choice. And the thing of it is, you're a victim once, after that, you're a volunteer. And I say that wholeheartedly because as somebody who comes from a background that I come from, it took me the realization that I was the sole responsible party from all of it. And when I took responsibility of it, Fred, that was when things happened. And when I say that, when I say that I was the sole responsible person for everything that I went through,
Yep.
people kind of look at me weird because I'm a domestic violence survivor. I was formerly overweight. I was over 400 pounds at one point in my life.
Wow.
I was legit broke to the point where I was on food stamps and WIC for my kids. But when I set down my ego and I realized that I was responsible for it,
yes.
and when I say I was responsible for it, I say this. I didn't make my ex-wife do those things, but I taught her what I was willing to be accepting of. I taught her how to respect me. I taught her, what I was willing to live through. And that's why I say that I was responsible. And I always tell people, I'm like, you're literally a victim once, after that, you're a volunteer. And I know it's easier said than done to leave. And I know that as being somebody who is in domestic violence, I know there's tons of men and women out there right now that are living under, the scrutiny of another person, unsure of how they could change it or unsure of how they could leave. And I assure you, that's what's keeping us stuck in those things. It's worrying about the details without having a little bit of faith that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And if you trust that God's got you, then you need to just go. Because at the end of the day, the thing that kept me in it, Fred, for so long, I kept saying, I'm in this marriage, married to an addict and an alcoholic, putting up with the verbal abuse and the physical abuse at times because of our children. I'm there for them. I'm there to protect them.
Right.
When in reality, they are all so much better off now that we're not all in under the same roof together. The kids, I have custody. I have custody of the son that I have with her.
Okay.
He lives with me full time.
Okay.
He's a straight A student. He made honor roll this year. He's a great kid. Her daughter lives with her parents. I mean, everybody has been removed from the chaos. And I lived like that for 8 years. We were married for 3. We were together for 8. And a lot of it was my self-esteem. I felt like, I was fat. Nobody would love me. I should just stick out where I'm at. Like at least, the good times are there sometime. Like I would reason with it.
Yeah. Justify it. Yep.
Absolutely.
I got it.
There is no, I don't care how good those few times are. There's no reason for you to stay somewhere where you're disrespected. There's no reason for you to live somewhere you don't belong, whether it's in a relationship, an environment, a job. It doesn't matter. If you don't belong there, make moves. Make moves because your life will get so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah.
It
has to be a breaking point too for you. What was yours?
So mine was August 11th, 2015. It was my final domestic with my ex-wife.
Okay.
And at the time we were living in an apartment. We had her daughter, my stepdaughter, who was 11 at the time. My oldest son that I had outside of the marriage, who was 9 or 10 at the time.
Okay.
And then the youngest, he's the one that we had together.
Okay.
He was 3 at the time. And the domestic, man, it went on for, she was supposed to be at work. She came home 2 hours later, drunk, arguing with me. And I just like you said, it was a breaking point.
Yeah.
I had enough.
That's it.
I basically I finally stood my ground instead of just accepting it and being like, okay, whatever. I told her to leave. I said, you need to leave. you need to leave. You know that you can't handle alcohol. You know that you shouldn't be drinking. Get out.
Yeah.
And, that started the argument and the fight. Living in an apartment building, immediately neighbors are already on the
Yeah.
horn.
Yes.
So like, yeah, so I didn't need to call nobody at that
Right.
point,
They were there. Yep. Yep. They
Yeah.
knew. Mm-hmm.
And you know, through the hours that went on after that, the moment the police arrived, and man, I can't tell you how many times we had law enforcement involved with our domestics, but every single time I was always taken either into custody or removed as the person perpetrating the act, whether they knew the story or not, because I was a large man
Mm.
and my wife was 5 feet tall, 100 pounds. And
Wow.
be,
Right.
because of that, it was an automatic judge a book by its cover.
Sure.
And it was no different than this time. This time they actually came in, they had ran into her outside.
Mm-hmm.
So they had gotten her story first, which was, not
Not
actually
that
what
actually
happened.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Of
So
course.
they came in, and thank God my children,
They stood up.
every time my children were there to give the honest story. They were
Yep.
honest children, and the
Yeah.
cops were asking me questions, and the kids, I had them in a back bedroom. They literally came out and just interrupted the cops and said, my dad didn't do anything. My dad was protecting us. He had us in a back room. My
Mm.
dad told her to leave. So now the story kind of changed. So now they were like, all right, we're going to ask her to leave. It went on all night long. And I ended up having to get a restraining order on her in order for her to leave. And the last thing that she said to me, and, she called me a fat piece of crap. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
say crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
She used a bunch of foul language at me,
Sure.
man. And those were the last words she spoke directly to me.
Mm.
And it was like daggers, dude. Like, she called me a fat piece of crap that would never amount to anything in my life, is what she said
Mm.
to me on her way out the door.
Mm.
And I remembered those words the next day. And the next day I had to go to the courthouse. I ended up getting the restraining order extended. She ended up breaching the restraining order. She went to the
Wow.
apartment. She trashed the place. She took all the food out the fridge, threw it on the floor and stuff. And, I got to go back in there with kids and stuff. And I just said to myself, I said, you know what? This is it.
Mm.
There's no coming back from this.
Absolutely.
And that ain't even as crazy as it ended up getting. It got absolutely insane, and most people wouldn't even believe half the stuff that happened if it wasn't on paper.
Right.
And it's like, to endure and go through the things that I went through in the months following was rough.
Wow.
And it segued into this feeling of where, that happened in August, and depression and anxiety had really eaten me alive.
Mm.
Months after, I was going through being investigated by Child Protective Services on a false accusation by her. She was just trying to get kids taken away from me at that point because they had been taken from her.
Sure.
I was in court. Things were getting worse
Mm-hmm.
by the minute. I couldn't afford an attorney. I was defending myself.
Mm.
And then in November of 2015, my stepdaughter of 8 years, who only knew me as dad,
Mm-hmm.
she was removed from my care on a guardianship case because the mom signed custody over to the maternal grandparents.
Wow.
I tried to fight it.
Yeah.
It didn't work because I had no rights
Right.
as a step parent.
Yeah. Right.
Even though she carried my last name, we had her last name changed and everything. And
Mm.
that was kind of like, I
Yeah.
would say that was the rock bottom
That was
moment.
it. Yep.
And that was in November. And I remember I kept telling myself, I got to do something about my health.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to change. My boys who lived with me full time, they didn't need to have their father anxious and depressed and not want to do anything and not be there for them, you know?
Yeah.
So I really tried my best not to let my anxiety or my depression affect their lives the best that I could. But
Right.
uh, honestly, like I failed a lot. There were times where I couldn't get out of bed. I was just, crippled with feeling oppressed and,
Yeah.
wondering what's next. Man, my bills, I was
Piled up.
unsuccessfully evicted from my apartment for over 2.5 years. I
My
got an
goodness.
eviction notice every month.
Wow.
My truck payment, I was paying them a month late every month, but never going 60 days, so it never got repossessed. My
Mm-hmm.
electric and my phone bill, I was rotating them out so that they didn't get turned off. I was paying them late. And it's
Mm.
funny, man, when you're poor, you you don't have money to pay your bills,
Yeah.
and then places like banks and all these things, they charge you more.
They charge you more. Isn't
so
that something? That's
so
crazy.
man,
Right. Right. Right.
nobody really understands like what poverty really
Yeah.
truly is. And
Mm.
like some people, you know are not as well off but have money to get by. But until
Right.
you've been to the point where you don't even have money for the first bill and now you got a second one on top
Second
of
bill.
it
Mm.
because you couldn't pay it, it's rough.
Yeah.
So towards the end of November, I'm like, you know what, I got to do something. And I kind of reached out to my social media and I was like, I got to get this weight off.
Wow.
I knew that my weight was like one of the catalysts
Okay.
for my
Okay.
depression. And I knew that my health, my overall health was what
Mm-hmm.
was holding me back from being joyful and happy.
Yeah.
I knew it
You
was.
knew that.
And I was overweight for about probably 10 years. Not my
Wow.
whole life, just that time.
That 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, because during domestic violence, I turned to food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was my crutch.
Yep. A lot of people do that. So a lot of people turn to food as their crutch when they're going through, especially you're talking about not just right rock bottom, and I'm talking about a crisis. That was a major, major crisis. But something in you told you that the health was the first step. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I
Okay.
knew it. I knew it. So I had reached out to my Facebook and I asked if anybody had an at-home workout DVD that I could borrow because I couldn't go to a gym. I didn't have a babysitter.
Right.
I couldn't leave my kids alone.
Mm.
And a friend of mine had reached out and was like, "Yeah, I got one. I'll bring it into work." It was like immediate. And
Mm.
this is like right around Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And
Social media.
it was the end of November, and it was a woman that I worked with at the hospital that I worked with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got the DVD and I set it on the table and I said, "Okay, January 1st, New Year's resolution,
Right.
like I'm going
There
to
you
gear
go.
up, I'm going to be ready to go."
Yep. 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 New Year's
And
resolution.
yeah, and I don't know why we do this.
Yeah.
New Year's resolution, let's start calling it what it is.
Right.
It's it's a promise we intend to break that we've made to ourselves on a day that we've made important for no reason.
Mm. Come
That's
on.
the problem. And so I had it sitting there for a couple of days, and then December 1st, man, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning.
Mm.
I was over 400 pounds. I had severe sleep apnea. I slept with a CPAP machine, and I had severe acid reflux. And I can't remember if it was from binge eating the night before or what the case may be, but my acid reflux kicked off at 3:30 in the morning, and I woke up and I couldn't breathe.
Oh
I literally was choking in my mask.
my God.
There was a fire in my throat and I was
Mm.
gasping, but no air could go in or out. And
Mm.
I tore the mask off. I ripped the machine off the nightstand. And now, man, I'm 400 pounds. So, like, I'm trying to get out of bed and it is not graceful. Like, I could not get out of bed. I was panicking. I
Mm.
was like stuck in the blanket on my back. I finally got up. I made it to the bathroom and I knelt on the floor in front of the toilet, just kind of like dry heaving, man. And I still couldn't breathe.
Jesus.
And the thing is, and this is, a moment that reminded me that my relationship with God was not fixed or repaired at that time.
Yeah.
But when we don't have anything left, we go to prayer. You see it. People that don't even have a relationship with God, or they say, pray for me. I just found out I have cancer. I could use all the prayers I could get. Like when we've got nothing left, we turn for prayer. And I remember literally talking to God, kneeling on the floor and saying, just let me live. Give me an opportunity to fix this.
Yes.
Let me breathe. Please let me breathe.
Yes.
And I'll share a parable after that is stuck with me since then. But I remember kneeling on the floor. I got up. I pulled myself up onto the vanity. I opened up the water, and I'm rinsing my mouth out with water, and I'm still not able to breathe. It felt like an eternity, and I grabbed a full sleeve of antacids out of the medicine cabinet, and I just started stuffing them in my mouth and chewing them to try and break up the fire for my throat to open, because I knew that the acid was causing my throat and my esophagus to be closed, and that was why I couldn't breathe. I finally remember that inhale, though, when my lungs filled, and I was like,
oh, wow.
I took that breath, and it was like life was in me. But I remember looking in the mirror, and I was completely disgusted with myself, Fred.
Wow.
I remember looking at myself. I was in a pair of shorts, no shirt on. I hadn't shaved in who knows how. I felt hopeless. And I went and I took my phone. I went back into the bathroom, and I literally took a picture of myself. And then I had a conversation with myself, because at that time, talking to myself was cheaper than therapy.
I know that's right, Craig.
And I looked in the mirror, and I said, you need to do something about your health, or your boys may not have a father soon. Like I just said, soon. I didn't know. And we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You're not promised
That's
tomorrow.
Right. That's right.
And I'm staring at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I am gonna change. And I took the picture, and I looked at it, and I said, this is the last time I'm gonna look like this. And I went out to the living room, and I put in the workout DVD, and about 10 seconds into it, I regretted turning on the workout DVD. So I'm 400 pounds, dude, trying to do cardio.
Right.
And I can't
and
keep
what time
up
in the
with
morning was it?
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. 4 a.m. And I'm like,
and
I'm trying to do cardio.
Wow.
And it's with, if you know Sean T, he does the insanity and
Sean
stuff like
T,
that.
Yeah, shout out to Sean T, definitely.
I'm doing T25 was the first program I ever did. It's 25 minutes.
That's it.
I couldn't even keep up with the modifier, and Sean's like, hey, Tanya just had a baby. And I'm like, I hate Tanya right now. I can't keep up with the lady that just had a baby. But there was something that clicked in me that I did it. I stayed moving for 25. Maybe I couldn't do what they were doing. Maybe I couldn't do a burpee or get on the floor. But you know what I did instead? I marched in place, and I kept talking to myself. That whole morning, I told myself, keep moving, don't stop. And if I couldn't do what they were doing, I marched in place. If they changed moves, I would at least try. If they did 10, but I did 5,
that's okay.
Cool. Next time I'm doing 6.
That's right.
And I finished the workout, and I said to myself, I'm like, wow, that was the hardest 25 minutes of my life. And I talking to myself again. I'm like, wait, no, that was not the hardest 25 minutes of my life. That was just hard for 25 minutes.
There you go.
But being overweight with sleep apnea, acid reflux, and feeling the way that I do is hard all day long. And when I'm asleep, apparently. Come on. Because I almost died. So that was my motivation to just be like, you know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm not giving up. And at that time, like, yes, now I work with network marketing. I work for the company that puts out the fitness DVDs, but I had nothing to do with them when I started.
I know that's just about you. Wow.
I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know about I didn't know that I could help other people and inspire other people. I didn't know about it.
Right.
So I was basically, I'm on my social media, and I'm doing it for me. And I'm basically like, I'm just posting a picture every day and saying, I don't care if you block me, if you stop watching. If
I know that's
this
right.
isn't for you, this
not
is
for you.
me.
That's right.
And I just kept doing it, Fred. Every
Yep.
day I posted a picture and said, I got it done. I didn't give up today.
Mm.
Day 2, I didn't give up today. Day 3, I didn't give up today. And I've not stopped. I mean, aside from the last 5 years, like there's been a couple of times where I've taken a break since
Yeah.
then. But dude, I went nonstop the entire month of December. My sister she ended up investing in me and buying into the supplements that we offer through our stuff. I didn't
Nice.
actually buy my first supplements. She invested in me, and then I was like,
Nice.
damn, now my family's investing in me. Now I really
Yes.
got to do it. That was the push. And I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
I'm supported by God. I'm supported by myself. I'm
Yes.
supported by my family.
Mm.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I
That's
I ended
right.
up losing 130 pounds in that run.
Whoa. Whoa.
I I lost 130 pounds in it was basically about a year and a half to 2 years.
Wow.
And I've maintained an over 100-pound weight loss since then. I fluctuate, whatever. Like I'm a little more loose with my meal plan now than I was back then, but
Pause for a second. 130 pounds. Like
a
I
whole
can't let you
person,
skate
dude.
past that. That is crazy right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's inspiring, bro. That is inspiring. For those who are listening right now, listen, there is no excuses, just results. If Craig can do it, you can do it. I'm hoping this is really adding value to because this is really adding value to me. I'm worried about 20 pounds trying to get off of me. 130. Craig, man, wow, that was amazing. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. And man, think about this too. For the people that are recognizing that, yes, I lost 130 pounds. I did it at home with support and accountability with like-minded people who
Mhm.
were also doing it at home, right?
Yep.
And this is what I do for people now is I help coach them through it. But I did it at home while being a full-time single father of 2,
Mm.
broke. I'm talking, man, I was eating on a meal plan while receiving food stamps and
Mm.
WIC for my youngest son, and I was working full time, and my immediate family lived 3,000 miles away. So when I say I did it
Wow.
alone,
Yes.
bro, I
Yes.
did it alone. And
Alone. My
they
goodness.
they were supportive. They helped out any way that they could, like they would send money when they could or whatnot. But it's not like, hey mom, oldest is sick today. Can you go pick him up from school? I gotta
Sure.
I gotta finish up at work. I'll be there. Hey, I got called into work. Can you watch the boys for me for a little while? No, like I had a
Mm.
few people on an emergency, which like I would only use them
That's right.
if it was an emergency,
Emergency.
be,
Right.
be, because I didn't want to outwear my welcome,
No doubt. No doubt.
because I needed support and I needed people. But
Mm.
man, when I say anything is possible to people and
Yes.
anybody can do it, it's true, man. Like if I can get to where I am and be where I am and doing what I am, like God created us for a purpose, on purpose,
Mm.
and it's just a matter of figuring out what your purpose is.
Yes.
And so many people go through life and live in what we call regret. Like you end up in a nursing home, and what's the first thing that people say when they're asked, hey, is there anything that you wish you did? Yeah, I wish I did what I wanted to do. I
Right.
wish I did the things that made me happy instead of
Yes.
just going to work, working a 9 to 5 because that's what society told me to do,
Mhm.
and working towards retirement that may or may not be there to help sustain me in my years after I've worked my life to the bone.
Mm, mm,
Like
mm.
I'm not about that life,
That's
dude.
right.
Like
That's right.
like I had this realization early enough in my life that it told me, you know what? If you can be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, granted it may take a little while,
Yep.
go for it.
That's it.
Don't end up in the nursing home saying, I regret not trying. I regret not doing something or giving it effort or you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Absolutely.
you don't want to regret not living because guess what, dude? Life goes on whether you want to or not. It goes on with or without you.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Absolutely, man. And those dreams, Don't let them dreams wind up in the graveyard. Don't let those inventions wind up in the graveyard. Like, do it now, right? Would you if somebody came to you and say, "Hey, I'm struggling with my weight, but I'm fearful to try to exercise." What kind of advice would you give them, Craig?
Exercise is extra credit. Honestly, I coach a lot of people. I coach a lot of people that are extremely obese because I give them hope because I've had a large weight loss. But when I'm coaching people, when I coach them through it,
Mhm.
um, if they're not physically capable of moving, I tell them walk for 30 minutes a day. Well, if they're extremely obese, like some of my clients, I just
Yeah.
have them start walking to the mailbox a
Yep.
few times a day.
Yep.
But the key is nutrition. There
Mm.
is nothing in this world that tastes better than confidence feels. Because when you feel confident and you feel healthy in your skin, I don't care what you're eating, it doesn't taste better than that. It
Mm.
doesn't. And there's no snack, cake, dessert, pizza on the planet. And don't get me wrong, I eat all the foods. I just know how to make them healthy now.
Got it.
I've I've taught people how to make healthier versions of
Right.
the foods that they love.
They love.
So when I
Got you.
work with somebody, I dive into nutrition. Nutrition is so important.
Mhm.
Nutrition is medicine, dude. If you eat healthy, you'll be healthy. If you eat healthy, you are healthy. You sleep better. You have more energy. Then the weight comes off. Then you get into the exercise. Exercise is extra credit. When you start exercising, and don't get me wrong, you can exercise it at any size.
Mm.
I have people that are doing programs at 500 pounds plus.
Wow.
The thing is you move your body the way that your body moves.
Got it.
And I say that because I have people that I coach that have Lyme disease who, if they have a flare up, they're not able to work out on a flare up. I have people that I coach that have MS. They
Mm-hmm.
have a flare up, they're not able to work out. We focus nutrition.
Right.
I coach people in a wheelchair. I have clients that are in wheelchairs. They're
Wow.
not doing burpees. We modify the workouts to fit the needs of the person and their capabilities.
Right.
So no matter what it is that you can do, we can figure out something, but you will speed up your weight loss if you're burning calories while you're eating healthy.
Ah.
Weight loss, all it is calories in and calories out.
Mm-hmm.
But and I've done all the gimmicks, dude. I
Done
assure
them
you,
all,
like
right? I've
I've
seen them
done,
all too.
I've done, I have done everything
Everything.
in the 10 years that I was overweight. I did the thing that we all do. It's a lie that we say. And if you've said it, you're going to regret that I told you it's a lie. We say we're willing to do anything to get this weight off. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll try the Garcinia Cambogia. We'll try the green tea extract. We'll try taking some pills and eating some bars. We'll try like a shake to, you know, supplement a meal
Yeah.
and whatnot. And we'll
Right.
do protein shakes and smoothies and we'll do all these other things. I even did a Fedra back in the day when that stuff was still legal.
Wow. Oh
I was
yeah.
doing, I did everything. Here's the lie. I'm willing to do anything to get this weight off. When you're actually saying, I'm willing to try anything that promises a quick fix without me actually having to work.
Come on. Come on
That's
now.
that's the lie.
That's the
And the
lie.
problem is I used to say it.
Mm.
And I was not willing to put in the effort to eat correctly and to move my body to lose weight, to feel better, to get healthy. And it's not about skinny, it's about strong and it's
Strong.
about healthy. So when women come, and I mostly coach women, my client base is 95% female.
Okay.
When I'm coaching women, I tell them it's not skinny, it's strong and healthy. Like you don't want to be skinny. You want
Right.
to be able to mess somebody up if they come at
I
you.
know that's right.
you,
And
you
be
don't
ready.
want, yeah. It's not about it's not it's about healthy.
That's right.
And changing our thoughts on the way that
Mm.
we view things and the way that we see things is what's important. But
Oh man.
but yeah, man, nutrition's the most important. But when we say that to ourselves, and I've been there because when you get to as unhealthy as I was, or
Mm-hmm.
as unhealthy as people I see are,
Mm-hmm.
we are so depressed and anxious and wanting change so bad that we say it, but we're not actually ready or willing to put in the work.
Right.
Or we just don't know where to start, and it becomes overwhelming. That's where guys like me come in,
Okay.
and we kind of, we focus it. We take, small pieces of the pie down and put the puzzle together piece by piece, rather than go full force and then have you fail and give up,
Right.
and
Right.
and that's the thing.
I heard it said that there's a difference between being interested and being committed. What do you think the difference is?
I think being interested is you like the idea. Being committed is you've made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
When you make a decision, and we have a motto in our field with what we do is you decide, you commit, and then you succeed.
Mm.
And when you've committed, you've made the decision. I think if you're intrigued, you like the idea, but you're not quite decided whether or not you're going to do anything
Right.
about it.
Right. Right. Right.
Just like weight loss sounds like a good idea to everybody. That there's so many people in that body positive movement right now, and
Yeah.
I think parts of it are good, but being a former obese person,
Mm-hmm.
I think parts of it are bad. By
Mm-hmm.
telling men and women that they should love their body and be accepting of being in an unhealthy body
Mm.
is scary. It's a
That's not
very
good.
detrimental fine line,
Absolutely.
and it's one thing to have people change their mindset about their body while they work towards being healthy, but
Mm-hmm.
telling them that they can just be that way, it's a very scary fine line. And I see women struggle with it all the time, and it pains me, bro. It
Yeah.
pains me to see it on social media. It pains me to see, I'm part of the anti-diet culture because I don't diet.
Right. Right.
I'm
Right. Right. Right.
it's
I hate
diet
that word, man.
dieting is a BS statement.
Right. Right. Right.
It truly is, and because there's so much misinformation out there, Fred. There's
Yeah.
there's low carb, there's sugar free, there's keto, there's all
Yeah.
these things, and I'm going to tell you, I've done them all.
Wow.
I've done them all.
Man.
What worked for me and what is sustained is learning how to control my portions and eat the right foods.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that I
It's
don't
simple.
have cake sometime. It doesn't
Sure.
mean I don't have a donut at church.
Right.
It
Right.
means that I've made it available in my meal plan to fit it so that the rest of my day I'm focused on other things. So, okay, I had a donut at church first thing in the morning on Sunday. I know that for lunch, I'm gonna be eating a salad
Ah.
topped with tons of veggies.
Look at that.
No dressing. My
Yep.
dressing will be like a spritz of lemon and lime, maybe
That
a little bit of olive oil. You don't need a lot
right.
once you
Okay.
figure out the fundamentals. And then I
Right.
know, okay, so I had a donut for breakfast. I don't need to go off the rails. I think that a lot of times what happens is, and I call it the flat tire syndrome. All
Okay.
right.
The flat tire syndrome. Got
Flat
it.
tire syndrome. All right. So check it out. And this applies to other things in life, not just a meal plan. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So say you're at work, right? And you've been following a meal plan all week long, and then work has a luncheon. And you're like, oh man, they ordered pizza because I mean they throw
I
junk
hate when
food
that
at us.
happens, man.
They throw junk food at us. So you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna eat some pizza. So you eat some pizza at lunch at work, right?
Yeah.
And then you go off the rails. You go home. You end up getting Chinese food because I mean you already ruined your meal plan
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
day.
That's
Might
it,
as well,
right?
like, yeah.
Might as well
So
go with it.
Chinese food. You're gonna have a couple glasses of wine or a couple
Yep.
of beers. You're all done. Like you're
Yep.
good. You'll
Yep.
pick it back up maybe tomorrow. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow you'll start again. That mentality is the same. Like imagine you woke up this morning and you walked out to go to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got out into the driveway and you had a flat tire in your car, and you like completely shut down. You walked back into the house, you grabbed the knife out the drawer, you walked back out to your car, you slashed the other 3 tires, you call work, you tell them that you're never driving again and you're done. That's the same mentality that you did with your meal plan. And it's like, why would you do that there, but not there? And it's simple. It's because you didn't have the tools to react properly. One, you didn't have the mindset to be able to recognize the perspective that, okay, I can have this, but that means I need to be focused and clear here. And I think a lot of people, they get overwhelmed, man, because like I said, there's so much misinformation out there.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff out there that promises you a quick fix without giving up the things you love. All you got to do is go keto and you can eat bacon, cheese, and butter and all that stuff. And it's like, dude, do you know what your blood work looks like after you're done doing that?
Forget about it. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're going to lose weight because your body's in shock and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's not healthy. It's not, it's not long-term unless you're guided by a doctor and there's a medical reason.
Yeah.
That you need to be following a keto style meal plan,
right.
Real keto.
That's
not,
right.
Then it's not for the everyday guy like me.
Yeah.
To just sit at home and do that.
You talk about mindset a lot, and thank you for sharing that keto thing for all my keto folks. Now they're probably throwing it out of the window right now. Check with your doctor first. That's what I'm saying. But you talk about mindset a lot, and I think it's important, especially when you're saying because your story is amazing. You come from a state where you're being overweight, but it was a moment where you had that rock bottom. You're dealing with domestic. It was all busting down and crushing down on your self-esteem. And there's people that's maybe dealing with that right now. But mindset is what I heard it a couple times. What is the role that mindset plays in doing that turnaround as far as your health, and not just your health, but with anything in life? How important is that?
Mindset is everything. I think mindset is one of the 3 pillars of successful people. I know that you've heard me share this before, but we'll share it for your audience.
Yeah.
And then we'll dive a little bit more into the fundamentals of mindset, because for me, there are 3 pillars of successful people. And the first one is mindset. If you're able to have the right mindset around your day, you're able to have the right perspective, you're able to be grateful, and gratitude plays a big role in mindset.
Yes, definitely.
When your mindset is correct and more positive, you're more likely to win. It doesn't mean you win all the time. There are going to be times that you don't win, but if you don't win the day, you can win the week. If you don't win the week, you win the month. Don't win the month, win the year. But the thing of it is you're more likely to win more often than not with a grateful and positive mindset, okay? Even when things happen that are outside of your control, because then you'll be able to react properly to them and recognize, hey, that's not in my control. I can't change that. I can't let it affect me you might grieve depending on what it is, but you can't let it cripple you because it's outside your control. Right. You didn't have no choice on it. The second pillar is if you're down with OQP, yeah, you know me. It's only quality people, dude.
OQP, me.
Only quality people.
Love that.
And that's us showing our age right now. So
yeah, man. 1993. I'm gonna put it out there.
So OQP is only quality people. You want to see your future? Show me your friends.
Yeah.
Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. Because I'll tell you what, and we all have heard this. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're spending time with somebody that is consistently complaining about their life and everything around them, that's going to wear thin on you. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a negative person too, but you know what? All that energy just sucks the life out of you to the point where you can't be positive and show up in your own life. Yeah. So when you surround yourself with quality people, it brings your life up. When you have people in your corner that fan your flames of your dreams versus dousing your hopes with water, that's the thing. You want people that really support you. So only quality people. And then the last thing for successful people, the 3 pillars, is learn how to speak. Be intentional with your words, because the moment you open your mouth, you show yourself to the world. You show people who you are
Mm.
by how you speak. So like if I came on here and I was just dropping F-bombs and there'd be no respect. There'd be no respect.
Mm.
Not saying that people that curse aren't respectful,
Right,
but
right, right.
I'm
I get
saying
it.
you're going to take somebody a little bit more seriously when
Yeah.
they are more intentional with their words
Mm.
and where they direct their speech versus somebody that's just like coming in and talking like I used to talk in the early 2000s, dropping F-bombs and all
Right,
slang.
right, right, right.
It's not
And
going to
I
be the
did it.
same.
And I did it when I was rapping back in the day. When I did all the rhymes where I was like, uh, I'm the psychological equipment, and it was all cool. But when I started dropping the F bomb, people start saying, "Man, that's all you got? It's just the F bombs." It's like
Yep.
I lost respect. So I feel you right there. That's
and
powerful.
that's and that's the thing, and don't get me wrong, it's taken me years to cut.
Yeah,
I used to
me too,
curse.
man. Oh, me too.
It's taken me years to get to there. But the foundation, man, of mindset is, it starts with personal development. People
Yeah,
ask me, well, what should I read for personal development? And
yeah,
I tell people personal development is personal. Like I can let you borrow my underwear. It might be comfortable, but it doesn't mean you want to wear it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
exactly.
so I always ask people, what is it in your life that you would like to change right now? And
Yeah.
then we'll find a book geared towards that. Because
Mm,
if you repair some of the holes and the cracks in your life, then it transpires exponentially across all other areas. So
ah,
like I have people, that I coach. I'm like, how much better would your life be if you were a better parent?
come
And
on.
they're like, oh, my life would be so much better if my kids listened to me, if my kids were more well behaved. And I'm like, dude, then let's read a book on parenting. Let's lock down like some tools on parenting, because guess what? When their kids end up more well behaved and they are better parents and not like flying off the handle,
Yep.
starting the day off wrong because they have the tools,
Right.
their day became so much better. They're not fighting in the morning with their kids. They're able to accomplish the things that they need to accomplish.
Yep.
They feel better and their kids are happier.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, so that's just one area. But
Mm,
for
mm.
me, as a stubborn man and an alpha male, gratitude and journaling was not something you would ever hear come out of my mouth 5 years ago.
I know that's right. I wasn't with that either.
But I'll tell you what,
Wow.
I'm going to tell you what, prayer, gratitude, whatever it is that you need, like in the morning when I wake up or whenever I wake up for my day,
Yeah.
I say, thank you, God, for another day alive because I'm not
Yes.
promised today.
Yes,
Thank you
God.
for these legs that are about to get me out of bed because some people are not capable. Thank you for the health and the strength to work on myself. There are people that aren't capable of doing so. There are people that weren't given that privilege today.
Mm.
Thank you for this mind that I'm about to work today because some people don't have the mental capacity. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to be better today than I was yesterday.
That's
And
it.
then I start my day.
Mm.
And people are like, well, that's so simple. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? You want to know what's even better about that? When I start my day with gratitude and I end my day with gratitude, when those events in my life that are outside my control that happen, I am more apt to react properly when they do.
Mm.
For instance, my parents live in Arizona. I start my days with gratitude and everything. My dad called me, hey, my grandfather. He says my father's not doing well. We don't know if he's got days or what he's got. I'm
Right.
in Oklahoma, and I said, all right. I said, I'll let you know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I hung up the phone. I was in the right mindset. I mean, I'm upset my grandfather's dying, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm about to grieve, but in the moment, I can't control that he's on his deathbed. I can't control that he's in Arizona. What I
Mm-hmm.
can control is I called my boss and I said, you mind if I take an early vacation? Yep, go ahead. I drove out to Arizona. I went and prayed with my grandfather before he passed away. I
Mm.
seen him before he died. I did the
Yes.
things in my control. I stayed grateful that I got that time with him, and I was
Yes.
positive about it.
Amen.
That was a
Amen.
moment where I won. And I
Yes.
don't win all the time, but that's just a real life example where I could have just lost my mind and spent days crying and not gone out there
Yes.
and not made it, you know? And I thought to myself, in the past, I probably would have skipped out. I
Mm-hmm.
probably would have missed out on seeing my grandfather before he passed away
Yep.
and having a conversation with him
Mm.
because of my own insecurities and depression and anxiety. I would have crippled myself and not did what I needed to do.
And not move and blew the opportunity to be able to be in that space one more time.
That's it. And all
Wow.
because I was able to react properly.
That's
And
great.
I owe that to being grateful and having
Yes.
gratitude, because I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful I got the call.
Yes.
I'm grateful that I know that there's possibility that he's got a few days. I can drive from Oklahoma to Arizona. We're good. I didn't need to like last minute plane tickets. Like
Yeah.
I'll just drive out there.
That's
I'm
right.
just gonna go.
You took
And
action.
I just went.
Yes, you just
And
took action. I love that.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm glad that you said that, because that's the thing. The distance between who we are today and who we want to be is that
Yeah.
it's action.
Yes.
It's action.
Talk about it.
100%. If you want to bridge the gap between what you want to do and where you want to be, it's action. Take action.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you won't fail. You should fail. Fail fast.
That's
Learn
right.
something.
That's right.
Be about it, you know?
That's right. And that's actually having the right mindset to do it. And if you need help, guys, there's a 5-second rule. No matter what you have to do, whether you got to make a phone call, catch a flight, whether you got to wake up in the morning, just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And that's what you got to do. Something psychological happens when you count down from 5 to 1, because I believe I do it myself. I do it when I got to make a decision. I do it when that fear tries to creep in, and I just step out and do it and take it to action. And you know, I definitely want to say, I'm gonna say a prayer for you, as far as, you know, my condolences for your grandfather. But I'm loving the fact that you got a chance that you moved when God said
Yeah,
move. You didn't wait.
absolutely.
You could have got angry, like you said, upset, crying, hanging around. But all that energy, you just took it and you bottled it up and you moved forward and was able to be there. I mean, that's one thing that we all, you know, I lost my parents, you know, in 1998 and 2005. My mom, I was there for, but my dad, I wasn't there for. He passed away without me getting a chance to be able to say bye. So if I could have had that moment to be able to go visit him, but a lot of times he had one stroke. And then I went down and visited, and we came back, and then he had another stroke. So we didn't know we was kind of, he lived in, you know, 1,500 miles away in Virginia. But I just wish I would have been able. There was a point of time where I said, well, I'm gonna go visit him this weekend. So if you guys are supposed to visit somebody this weekend or call somebody this weekend, do it now. Don't wait. Tomorrow's not promised, and lead yourself. Lead yourself to be able to do that, because the thing is, it's important that whether you're going through a crisis, whether dealing with somebody in your family, whether you just have something that's going on right now, inaction will be you'll be worse off than taking action. Would you agree with me, Craig?
100%. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that living life in regret.
Yes.
Regret is so terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Like it is. And there are things like I don't regret things anymore
Mm-hmm.
because I don't live in that space. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But and all the things that happened to me, I don't regret any of it. Those were
Mm.
character building years. That was God
Yes.
sharpening me. And
Come on.
um I knew I had to be broken before I could be whole again. And I mean,
Yes.
even after all the things that I went through, you know, um, God, God introduced me to a woman who respects me, who treats me well, who also doesn't let me BS
Mm-hmm.
myself, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she makes sure that I'm intentional, not only with my words, but my actions. And
Mm.
it's such a blessing, dude. I mean, I grew up 30 minutes north of Boston my whole life, and I live in Oklahoma now. So um, she was obviously, you know, a special enough person in my life for me to uproot everything that I knew, for me to
Mm.
move halfway across the country. And
That's it.
I'm just so grateful for everything that I have and everything that I am now. You know, it's like
Go
being
on.
able to do what I do is
Absolutely. Go on, give your
such
wife
a
a shout out, man. Give her a shout out, man.
Oh, my wife Ashley, she's absolutely a
What's up,
blessing.
Ashley?
And you know what's cool too is we work our business together.
Nice.
We met through the opportunity that we have.
Beautiful.
So we have a team of people that work with us as a couple or
Mm-hmm.
as individuals,
Yep.
which is cool too.
That's
So
good stuff. Now, let
it,
me ask you this, because you do have a team. You affect thousands and thousands of people with your
yeah,
story, with your words. What's one of the key secrets to being able to build and maintain a team?
man, I'm still looking for the secrets, to be honest. you know, um, I think that one of the biggest things, and I know that you get it because you're a big proponent to leadership. You are
Yes, sir.
somebody who strives for leadership, and man, I don't always get it right. I don't. I think that one of the key things for me is I'm passionate,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also relatable.
Mm,
But I
good.
also don't BS people.
Yep.
And it doesn't always go good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people aren't ready to hear, what I got to say or the truths. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of why I call myself unfiltered, just
Yeah.
because there's
The unfiltered coach.
yeah,
That's
there's no filter for it because
amen.
like God put it on my heart to not enable people because I was married to an addict. So I saw what enabling people does to people
Yeah.
and massaging egos. I seen what that does. And it doesn't do any good for people because when you're sometimes people that are broken don't want to be fixed because being broken gives them attention.
Come
And I
on.
and I say that with the utmost toughest love.
Woo.
The thing is when I'm raw and honest with people, I would rather have them be mad at me for a minute because I gave them the truth than lie to them, enable them, and massage their ego and have them remain stuck where they are.
Let me
I
pause
want to
for a
be able
second.
to, yeah,
Pause for a second right there. That is huge because you just helped me, because that was my life. I've always wanted to be able to see the great good in everybody and stroke egos. And the only people that would get that kind of honesty from me and not, the flowery stuff, was my children and my wife. But I realized, and you helped me realize, that there are people that are out there that I've connected with that I have done a disservice to by not giving them that raw, tough love. So go ahead. Thank you for reaching for to talking about that, because I
you
just
got it.
received that, man.
And think about it like this, Fred, from now on. Tough love is still love. It's still love.
Yeah.
Even if it's not taken correctly, even if your words are chewed up and misconstrued, it doesn't
Yep.
matter because at the end of the day, God knows your heart,
Yep.
period.
Yep.
And if the person knows you, they know your heart too. So
Yeah.
even if they're upset for a moment, because I'll tell you what, some of my best clients I've had so mad at me that we didn't talk for a month.
Wow.
But the
Yeah.
ones that did, one of them's lost 180 pounds,
Ooh.
one of them's lost 135 pounds. I
Mm.
mean, we eventually get to a point where the thing is I want to pull. If you hire somebody to help you, if somebody hires you, Fred, to help them,
Yeah.
they've already gone into it, whether they know it or not, with the understanding that you're going to pull the greatness out of them. When
Yes.
somebody hires a coach, do you think Michael Jordan would have been who Michael Jordan was if his coach was like, "Hey, nice try on that shot. Maybe you'll do better next time.
No.
Good job. I still love you." No, like
No.
he just said, "What are you doing?
You
You need to
suck.
practice harder,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
work harder."
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody sees the
Yeah.
hours put in and the reps put in to
No.
be who we are. But the thing is there's been many times where I've had people upset about me, about things that I've said, and even recently, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And to be able to be where I am for as long as I am and to lead the way that I do, is because I know that I won't win all the time and I'm not for everybody. But that's an understanding that I've come to terms with. And it's okay because not everybody's ready. And
But you got to be
it's
doing
not
something right because you are getting results. Not only here's
right.
the thing is you're not only getting results for other people, but you are a result.
Right.
You see what I'm that's a difference. It's one thing to coach somebody and have never been coached, but not
Right.
only and then you had to coach yourself. Man,
Right.
that's why I really appreciate because it's one thing to teach, but you lived it out and now you're pouring out to others. So guess what? That's why I recognize and I can appreciate what you're saying. They might not like you for a little bit, but if you don't like me and you lose 200 pounds, I'm okay with that. And you'll love me later.
Amen. Amen. That's what I tell them too. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. You can literally hate me, but if you're
Sure.
still making progress, then my job's done. It
That's
doesn't
right.
matter.
Exactly.
You know,
I love
and
it.
it's funny because, I have people that there are times where, I do come off a little brash because of who I am. It's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's funny. Growing up in New England, people that I meet outside of New England, right?
Mm-hmm.
They either think I'm mad or I'm yelling,
Is it
and I'm not.
Boston? Boston.
And I'm not. I'm just talking, right?
Right.
It's like, dude, I'm not mad and I'm not yelling. I'm just talking.
Just talking.
I'm excited. I'm passionate.
Passionate, yeah.
And sometimes people they don't know how to take it, and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just talking.
I'm just talking. I know. Just I'm gonna get and wrap up, man. I know I kind of get
Yeah.
back to your incredible house that you just purchased and get back all that work
Yes.
you've been doing. But I'm just thank you. I'm so grateful for you sharing your story, sharing incredible transformation, sharing your heart. You are the unfiltered coach, and guess what? I want you to continue being unfiltered, even with me, because you've helped me even just from the last couple months that we've known each other, me and my wife, and we are just so grateful for you, man. But last question I want to ask you: what kind of advice could you give somebody who doesn't quite know what their purpose is or is struggling with their self-esteem to get them to move to kind of move forward?
I think people that don't know what their purpose is need to just do things. You need to just do lots of things. You need to do things that you think you might like until you find something that really sticks. Because I think that the problem is too many people live under the opinions and the advice and the ideas of other people, and it's not their life. If you want to find your purpose, you need to be out there trying things. You don't need to be doing what your friend Belinda tells you to do. You need to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And as far as self-esteem, man, there are so many great books out there as far as personal development and stuff like that, but all transformations, whether it's weight loss or what it is, everything's an inside job. If you're not working your heart and your mind at the same time, you're just for me, like if I didn't work my heart and my mind while I went through weight loss, I would just be a smaller, healthier version of my broken self. I would still be broken. And the thing of it is self-esteem is something that you need to gradually build over time, but you need a foundation. And sometimes your foundation isn't even your own foundation. Sometimes you need to build off of somebody else's foundation and get your building started with somebody else's help. And then you can truly dive into loving yourself again, or maybe for the first time ever. Maybe you've never loved yourself before, but the foundation of understanding this, nobody is going to help you love yourself. There's no person that's going to love you like you should love yourself. There are people that will add value and love to your life, like your wife will add love to your life. But if you're not loving yourself, you're never going to be happy, because if you can't love yourself, you can't love individuals either. If you can't love yourself, you can't love life the way that you should. If you can't love yourself, you can't love and respect the things that you have. You won't have gratitude. It's just, it all comes together with loving yourself. Doesn't mean you're going to love yourself right away, but that's where you need to work. That's where you need to work.
You heard it first from my man Craig Daigle, the unfiltered coach, husband, father, coach, business owner, and just my friend, brother. It has been a pleasure and honor to have you on this Time to Lead podcast, where leaders come together to grow and get better. Where we believe that before you lead anybody, you got to first lead yourself, just like my brother did. Incredible transformation and much success to you going forward. And you know, I'm gonna be right here. You stuck with me for life, bro.
No problem. No problem. I love you guys,
Love
man.
you,
We
man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on the show, man.
got it. Anytime.
All right, bro. Hold on a sec.